Hey everybody, Hebrew Hulk here. So today I'm going to explain kind of why I got into bodybuilding and more how I got into bodybuilding. So growing up, I was never the fat kid, but I was definitely the out of shape kid. Like, pick last for gym class, always a bit heavier. Like, just, I had no interest in being active. Like, when I was really young, I played like soccer a little bit, but nothing even close to some of the kids you grew up with that were those athletic kids. Like, I had no interest. And as I got older, I got less and less and less interested. Part of me always enjoyed weights in gym class. Every so often, we'd get to go into the weight room the football players used, and they'd let us kind of just go to town. Me and my buddy, we'd always, we liked lifting the heavy weights. Like, granted, there's maybe like one plate bench press was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing ever. Granted, there's probably one rep with terrible form. I don't remember anymore. Anyways, I kept going, and I went to college, and I was in the criminal justice program. So there's some physical aspects added into it, and even then, I didn't really get into it. Like we had to do some running and some stuff like that. So I worked out a couple days a week just to kind of meet my requirements for class, and so it was nothing really particular by any means. Now, at this time in college, I was actually also engaged to my girlfriend from high school. So about 2 or 3 months out from finishing college, she up and leaves. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I feel bad for you." Don't feel bad for me. It literally brought my life in a direction that's literally the best case scenario I can possibly imagine for myself. So after she left, moved with my college buddy from college, Tom. Me and Tom lived together, and neither of us were really fit. Like, Tom had a better physical background than I did. We went to college together, so we had the same sort of mentality. Both kind of like love playing video games and stuff like that. But like, we had a deep freeze upstairs that was literally just frozen pizzas. And we did not like the same pizza, so we'd never share a pizza. We each ate our own entire frozen pizza. Most nights we were both home. And like, I was working as a security guard, and just to stay awake for 12-hour night shifts, I was snacking constantly on crap. Like, my face was always breaking out. And so I remember one day, kind of, I'll call it my epiphany moment. I'm sitting there playing World of Warcraft because I'm that cool, surrounded by Pepsi cans, and I'm not wearing a shirt. I look down at my belly, and it's like, it's sitting on my waist, or it's sitting on my thighs. And like, it was a big belly. Like, I wasn't really fat. Like, I was pretty, I didn't have a lot of, I didn't have any muscle or size anywhere else, but I had a lot in my belly and my back, and that's where all my real fat was. If you can check me on Instagram at Ted.Finkelman, or else just search the hashtag Hebrew Hulk. On there, I have a picture of my starting point when I first got into fitness. Yeah, so that's when I realized, I got to make a change. Granted, part of that came down to I have to try and start dating again. How the hell can I do that looking this bad? So, it started out with I was working security night shifts, and on the TVs at night, they'd always show that P90X program. And I thought, hey, it's like I could do that, give it a try. It's something to start with. And that's the biggest thing people have is people don't start with anything. They just say they can't do it and they give up. And I said, no, I can start with this. And so I got the program, and yeah, the first month was pretty touch and go. I was like, this is hard. I don't want to do this. Can't do this. And so then I got into it. And then as I went through, I started cleaning up my diet. Now, first thing I started to do was I cut out sugar, then I cut out sodium, because after a while, most of my sugar was cut out, but I was eating a lot of lean cuisines and food that we think is really healthy, but it's actually not. So I started checking the sodium content and all the food I was eating, and realized I was getting 6 times my daily sodium intake in one day. And so once I cut that out and started eating a lot of salads, like salads with meat and everything, and just trying to go for healthier foods as much as I could. Granted, I didn't know anything about nutrition compared to now. So I kind of ate what made sense to be healthy, which actually was pretty decent, just probably not enough food for what I was trying to do, and not enough protein. But I mean, everybody makes that mistake at some point. So I ended up losing about 40 pounds through about 2 cycles of P90X. So if everybody knows, so one cycle is about 3 months. So the first cycle I don't really count because it was touch and go and stop and go. Then I did it again, and I did it again. So about 6 months, I lost about 40 pounds. Took me down from 260, which was the fattest I'd ever been, down to about 220. and still wasn't happy with myself. I didn't follow the P90X diet plan just because a lot of the foods I wanted to eat, number one, I couldn't afford them. Number two, you can't find some of them around here. I think one meal was supposed to be like swordfish or something. Couldn't find swordfish. And I didn't have the nutritional knowledge to actually figure out what would replace swordfish. But anyways, at that point, I moved back to my hometown in Medicine Hat. I was living in Lethbridge during that time. And I was really getting into nutrition and health and stuff like that. And I started working in a supplement store. And a buddy of mine, who worked there too, he was just about to do a show, said, well, how about after my show, I train you for a show, a bodybuilding show. And so I said, yeah, you know what, I'll do that for a year. And that decision, like everything led up to this decision happening. If like my ex hadn't left me, I wouldn't have got into fitness. I would live with Tom, got into fitness, lost weight, got to GNC, and then started training under this guy. So we got me started, and I said I'll do it for a year because I was the kind of guy, like, I quit everything. So I figured 1 year, if I can pull off 1 year, that's amazing. It's been 5, and I've been consistently going. I've only done my first show 2 years ago in 2014. I'm about to do my second one in about 10 weeks or so, just because it took a long time. I went through a couple different trainers trying to find the right balance and stuff like that, and just kind of kept going, doing it. My other video talks about my bad first show. Actually, as I started bodybuilding, I met a girl who I'm actually now my wife. You've seen my ring. I talk with my hands a lot. And literally everything is better than I ever could have imagined to be in my life. That's what I say. When people say, oh, it sucks that your fiance left you, it literally was the best thing that ever happened, because everything that caused brought me to where I am. And I really can't imagine being in a better place in my life than where I am now. And so that's how I got into bodybuilding, but it's also everything bodybuilding did for me. I made a lot of new friends, met people I never would have met otherwise, and I just kept progressing as a person, in my opinion, because I'm a firm believer fitness can do a lot of things for you. I find that because you have that time to like de-stress in the gym, you're more focused the rest of the day, you've got more drive, like that self-discipline of going to the gym, especially bodybuilding, that discipline of, eating a special diet, training every day, that starts to carry over in everything else, because then everything else you have to do becomes more scheduled and specific, and then you just keep going. And so even like with work, jobs, learning, like I work part-time in a supplement store. Like this is back of one of the store I work at now, Reflex Supplements in Medicine Hat, best supplements in the city, best price, expert advice. But as I tried to get more fit, I was always trying to research more supplements, trying to learn more about them, see what I like, see what's out there, and it just certain things kept escalating. I'm not saying that anybody getting into fitness has to get into supplements, but I think what you learn from fitness or bodybuilding or any sort of activity like that will escalate your overall quality of life. So anyways, that's just my personal story of what bodybuilding did for me and how I got into it. And it literally was the best thing to ever happen in my life. All right. Remember, guys, if it doesn't challenge you like P90X challenged me, it doesn't change you.